welcome from School Year Abroad is Mr. Eric Beale, who is a SYA France alum. I'd also like to remind you that Selina Schreiber is back from France this year. So if you have questions, you're talking to her. And okay, at this point, before Mr. Beale makes his presentation, I'll just simply say right after this, if you need further information about School Year Abroad, will be available in the language lab there. And also later on after lunch, I think it's E-Block, at 1 o'clock, drop by again if you have any information. But please contact me if you want to pursue any one of the SYA sites. Anyway, Mr. Beale.
Quand il y a un mot itindiet, je me débrouille en français. How many languages do I just speak? How many languages did I just speak? 6. What are they? Spanish. Spanish. Korean. Korean. Italian. Vietnamese. Excellent. So I'm here from School Year Abroad, SYA, and we have 5 schools across the world: France, Spain, Italy, China, and Vietnam. And SYA is, in short, a 1-year academic homestay program, which is a fancy way of saying that you could go abroad for a year, you could study there, live in a host family, and most importantly, get academic credit for your year abroad. So, as I said, SYA operates 5 independent schools across the world. These are independently run. We employ our own faculty who are all native of the country, with the exception of our English and math teachers who come from consortium schools such as TAC. So you would go to a school with 60 other American students, so between 60 and 65, who hail from schools of all types from all over the United States, from the Punahou School in Hawaii to Mount Desert Island High School in Maine. Our sites are in Rennes, France, capital of Brittany, about 3.5 hours west of Paris. City of 450,000, beautiful, beautiful city. In Zaragoza, Spain, about midway between Barcelona and Madrid, 4th largest city in Spain, about 850,000 people, incredibly vibrant culture in the kind of arid mountains. In Viterbo, in SYA, Italy, is about an hour north of Rome, in a beautiful medieval walled city, a little bit smaller, about 80,000 people, very quintessentially Italian. When you think of Italy, Viterbo, it doesn't get any closer. And then SYA China and SYA Vietnam are in the bustling cities of Beijing and Hanoi, respectively. Now, you might be asking yourself, why study abroad, and why in high school? Isn't this usually something that people do in college? And I can tell you there are a few very good reasons why high school is the absolute best time to study abroad. First and foremost, it is a global world out there, and a global education is very significant as you go on to apply to jobs and colleges. Second, language acquisition comes far faster the younger you are. Things like tonality and vocabulary really root themselves in the subconscious of the younger mind far faster than even someone of college age. I can speak from experience on this. I spent a semester studying abroad in college in Argentina, and I spent a year abroad with SYA in France. My Spanish is conversational. Well, yeah, apparently my English is too. And whereas my French is near perfect. I consider myself to be almost bilingual. So it really, really makes a difference. You learn far more in 1 year than you do in just 1 semester. It's also an amazing way to live in another culture. When you're in high school, living in a host family, you are accepted as a member of that family, as a member of that community. You are, for all intents and purposes, just another Chinese kid, just another Spanish kid, just another Italian kid. You don't have this stigma of an American that follows you like it does the kind of older you get. You are just treated like a member of that family. So you have this perspective on the culture that you cannot recreate at any other time in your life. Truly, truly an amazing part of it. First and foremost, SYA, School Year Abroad, is a school. You are there to learn. In France and Spain, there is a 2-year minimum language requirement. So you have to be in French 2 or Spanish 2 before going. In Italy, China, and Vietnam, there is no language prerequisite. So you could be a beginner and still come back having mastered Chinese or Italian or Vietnamese. SYA is a language and cultural immersion program. So language is, with the exception of Vietnam, which I'll talk about in a little bit, language is the name of the game. All of our students take the AP in that language and the AP literature if it's offered. And you would be amazed how quickly you can learn the language. I was not the strongest of French students going in, but just by being there every single day, waking up, speaking French with your host family over breakfast, going to your 80% of your classes in Chinese, going to your friends, going to eat with your friends over lunch, speaking Italian there, coming back to school, speaking Italian there, going to your sports practice, speaking French with your friends on your soccer team, or again, Spanish with your host family back home. You would be amazed how quickly you learn the language just by being there, living, breathing. It's almost by osmosis. You also take English and math, so you don't fall behind in your credits. You get full academic credit for your year abroad. If you were to go as a junior, you would come back, do your senior year at Taft, and graduate with your class. If you were to go as a senior, then you would come back in time for graduation, see your class, get your Taft diploma, and then be on your way to college or wherever life takes you. Not only are students learning new languages, but they're also learning new ways of understanding the world. And at SYA Vietnam, you find a very different school that is dedicated to understanding more contemporary global issues. All of our students take AP Environmental Science and AP Economics, studying these things in a country that is at once developing but also has a 4,000-year history. So it's an incredible blend of the two. Part of our curriculum there is that all students are required to undertake an internship. Internships in the past have included teaching English to doctors and nurses, working at microfinance institutions. We had a student work at an NGO in the north of Vietnam on a forestry initiative. We currently have a girl who is interning with Dasani, Coca-Cola company in Hanoi. So everything from the kind of NGO end of the spectrum to the more capitalist side of things. Whatever the student's interest is, we try to make that happen. You also get to see an incredible amount of the country that you're living in through SYA. Not just the city that you're in. You have the opportunity, it depends on the country. In Asian countries, they travel for a little bit longer with the school, between 4 and 5 weeks. In the European countries, it's usually 3.5 weeks. This is included in tuition, and it's an amazing opportunity to see the country that you are inhabiting. All the things that you're learning about in your history classes, in your culture classes. You're no longer reading a book. You see a picture of a castle. Oh, great, it's 3,000 years old, 3,000 miles away. You're walking the ramparts. You're dragging your hands across the snow. So all the things that you're learning about, your experiences are kind of informing them, and vice versa. In Spain, they go to Bilbao, to the mountains. They spend a week in Andalusia. In Italy, they go down to Sicily. In France, they spend Paris. In Hanoi, they go to the northern mountains. They go to the south to Ho Chi Minh City. Also the opportunity for independent travel, which is basically what it sounds like. Come generally November 15th, kickoff dates subject to change. But if you are in good academic and disciplinary standing, then you would be able to fill out an itinerary, submit it to your resident director. If he okays it, he sends it to your family back home. If they okay it, then you could take the train to Barcelona for the weekend to see a concert, or to Toulouse for a folk festival. And nowhere else at 17, 18 years old are you going to get that kind of freedom, that kind of autonomy. And it's incredibly empowering when you have the ability to haggle with stubborn transportation workers and make sure that the youth hostel that you booked is close enough to the museum that you want to see. All these kinds of things in the language that you're there working so hard to develop. An incredible, incredible experience. 9 times out of 10, if you ask an SYA alumnus, myself included, what their favorite part of the year abroad was, they'll say, hands down, my host family. Host families are amazing. They want to share their language, their culture, their country with you. I have sisters in real life, they're both older. I got thrown in a host family with 2 younger brothers. Had an absolutely amazing experience. They've been back to the US almost every single summer since I was there. I was just back to Rennes this past summer to visit my host family, and it was like I never left. A relationship that I will have absolutely for life. It's also an amazing way to make new friends. How many of you guys are artists? How many of you guys play a sport? How many of you guys are thespians, singers? All these things that make up a huge part of who you are in high school, that you're so worried about abandoning. For the most part, a few glaring exceptions, baseball, lacrosse, football, they don't offer these kind of quintessentially American things. But with those exceptions, the things that you're so dedicated to here in the US, you can continue abroad. And it's an amazing way to really get involved in the community and make friends. We had a student in Spain, a country where they don't even put ice in their drinks, from St. Paul's, incredibly talented hockey player, played on a U19 travel team, ended up winning the national championship for that team. So something as bizarre as hockey in France, or hockey in Spain rather, you could do. I had a friend in France, a very talented tight end, football player. They don't play football in France, so he decided to play rugby. Did something new, and had an amazing time doing it. So maybe you could use it as an opportunity to take a dance lesson or try something completely new and out there. And as I said, amazing way to make friends, to really become part of the community. One of my friends from my sports team, I actually convinced to come back and be TA and live with me for a year in college. So again, these relationships that you're forming over there are ones that you will keep for life. There's the student from St. Paul's playing hockey, and this is actually a poor representation. Unfortunately, not all host families have rabbits as pets. So it might be false advertising, but that one did. I'm sure you guys are all thinking, okay, this sounds great, but I'm here at Taft, this amazing school, because I want to attend a premier college or university. How is this going to affect my chances of being admitted into the college of my choice? The answer, in short, is positively. SYA, very well known, very well respected in college admissions offices. They know that students coming out of SYA are going to be masters of a language, but moreover, they know that these students are going to be confident. They're going to be risk takers. They're going to be adaptable. All these kinds of characteristics that they're looking for in the transition from high school to college, students have already lived and excelled in. Your college essays are going to be 8 times more interesting, talking about gallivanting around Europe or Spain, or undertaking an internship, overcoming cultural differences in Vietnam, as opposed to spoon feeding the elderly in Watertown. Not that that's not an amazing and altruistic undertaking, but these offices probably get thousands of those essays every single year. So it's a way to distinguish it. It's also a registered test site for the SATs, for the ACTs, for the APs. So any kind of standardized test you need to take is taken care of. There are college counselors and academic advisors, so the support network that you have here at Taft extends abroad. Some of our students attend some of the premier universities in the US, almost all of whom have very good international studies programs. Go figure. Some important deadlines to remember. Financial aid application and regular application are due February 1. Now we do offer merit scholarships 2 per country per year, regardless of financial need. And we encourage our students to apply a little bit earlier, January 16th. It includes an additional recommendation and an additional essay. So think big. Dare to do something different. Step outside of your comfort zone. If you want to become fluent in a language, if you want to truly know and live in another culture, then SYA is absolutely, hands down, the best experience. And I would implore all of you to think about it. And as I said, if you have questions, see myself or Mr. Denier. I believe now we are going to go over to our students in France and Spain. You guys there? How's it going, guys? Hey, Annalise.
Wait, I can't see you guys. I can't.
It's all right. There's not much to see.
There.
Kidding.
All right.
Are we on a jumbotron? What is going on?
Do we have the others?
I don't know.
Well, I have you, Annalise. Why don't you go ahead and describe a day in the life of Annalise Van Breen at SYA France?
Well, it's really, really interesting. So I actually live in the countryside, so I take a 40-minute bus ride into Rennes, which is a lot of fun. And then I come to school, which I've never done before, take a bus to school. And then I come to school and I take 7 classes, and 2 of them are English and math, and those are both in English. And the rest are in French, and all our classes in French are in French, because even though it's an American-based school, all the teachers are French and the curriculum is French-based, so the classes are in French, the books are in French, the tests are in French. And then usually you can go on Wednesdays, we have activities that we can do. So some kids do soccer, some kids do like dancing or painting class. And then we all go home to our host families and have dinner with them and talk with them and then do our homework and go to sleep.
Thank you. Tiara, Cassie, do I have you guys over there? Can you hear us?
Wow.
Can you see us?
No.
Well, we can see you. You're there, intermittently.
Okay.
How?
All right.
I mean, we can hear you. This is going well for us.
Okay, excellent.
on our
Well,
end.
as long as we can hear you.
Okay.
So, how can you guys describe the kind of transition process for you guys? How was it? Being thrown into a new city, a new school, new friends, a new family. Can you describe kind of what it was like the first month and so?
Well, I mean, some parts were easy and some parts are hard. I think the easy parts are in school because everyone's in the same boat. I mean, everyone's freaking out because suddenly you forget all your Spanish once you actually have to speak it. But that you bond over that kind of stuff with other people. And adjusting to the city is pretty easy because it's a great city. We're in Zaragoza. So it's like perfect size. It's not too big, but it's not too small. And it's really pretty, and it's just a good old time. You want to talk about families and stuff?
I live with mom, and she has 2 daughters, and they're both older than me. And at first, I wanted, a family that was younger than me, but I'm happy that I got sisters that are older because they can help me and they take me around, and I can relate to them more than if they were like.
No.
Where did Annalise?
Where did Annalise go? Uh-oh.
I'm here.
Okay.
So right now, going through this phase where I can't speak in English or Spanish, so it really sucks. But for it, so.
Okay. It's a good time. Anyway, just putting a positive spin on things. With families, like, there are a lot of things to adjust to, but every family, any family you get wants there. You know, they're not just going to take in some random kid. Like they're the kind of family that usually has been doing this for a while. I know I'm like the sixth girl my family's had in their house for the 6th year in a row. So they're very accustomed to your customs, and they know how to, you know, give you privacy, but also include you in the family. And my family's fantastic. I have a mother, father, and a 21-year-old sister. It's kind of the same deal. Like she shows me around and stuff and helps me with my homework.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awkward. Help me with homework, and my mom is like, she's very maternal, and so every time like I need that extra boost, like when I get sad or like homesick, like she's over there and she'll always help me out, and I like that because we have already established that relationship.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you. So, you guys hear that?
Yeah,
You're killing it.
I like it.
So why don't you guys talk briefly about school, about the academics? Has it been a challenge? Kind of, you said that as soon as you need your Spanish, all of a sudden you've all forgotten it. How are the courses over there? How do they compare to Taft, and how have you been finding them?
Well, because they're in Spanish, they just keep going, so it's like da you don't know what they're saying in the beginning.
At first, and focus on the at first part.
Yeah, at first.
Now it's better.
But now, like, you can understand where you can tell how much you've progressed throughout these few months that we've been there.
And the academics are different, but they're challenging, but they're challenging in different ways. Kind of like I'd probably say I don't have as much homework time-wise, but the classes are just as challenging.
Yeah.
But they're different classes. You know, here I take math and English. Those are both in English. And then I take history of Spain. I take Spanish. I take political science. I take art history. So there's a very different curriculum, but there's a really good variety, and the teachers are all great. And the teachers are always willing to help with whatever you need. And they understand that in the beginning it's really tough and no one understands things, but they're very willing to help out.
Also, okay, I don't know how it is in Spain, but like they split you up into like based on your like ability of the language or your capability of the language. So it doesn't matter like how many years you've been taking it. It just matters like how you do. So which is kind of nice because then you're placed with other kids who are on the same level as you, and you don't have to like stress out about like being the same or struggling because you're all in the same boat.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions out here?
Yeah.
What's that? Ouch. Vietnam has a PG gear.
What?
Anyone else?
A good question.
So why don't you tell me about how it's been making friends with French people and Spanish people? Do you guys have any good stories of of trying to make friends, succeeding or failing?
Well, it is. Well, we actually we get food at the local high schools nearby our school because where we go to school is basically really old, like townhouse. So we don't have a cafeteria or a kitchen or anything like that. So we go to the local high schools. So there we have some nice intercommunication with students. Whatever.
Okay.
Wait, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know
Either.
Wait, did I just say something or did you just say something?
Pretty sure you said something. We haven't said anything.
We're not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over to Spain?
What?
How are you guys
Okay.
finding making friends with Spaniards? Can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear. Well, we both do this thing called Miércoles Musicales, which is on Wednesdays we just go to like a music class group thing, and there are some Spaniards in that class, and they're really nice. And it's nice to have you automatically have something in common when you do these extracurricular activities. So, with our friend Maria, she plays guitar, so you can automatically bond over, oh, what kind of music do you like and stuff. And all the Spaniards are really eager to make friends with Americans. If you just go up to a group of Spanish teenagers and you're like, hey, I'm American, and you start speaking your broken Spanish, and they're gonna want to be friends with you. Honestly, it's pretty easy. Yeah. After they laugh at you. That's
And it's also.
Hi. We want to say cheerio for now, and I'm sure you'll be back next year, and we look forward to that. Thank you very much.
Okay.